I'm Lamya Dawladwala, PhD student, TIFR, Mumbai. Welcome to my first episode of BAM! Kick it up a notch! I hail from a developmental biology lab where studying cell shapes and forms is my calling, tweaking cytoskeleton my charm. So let's start from the very beginning. The development of you! But you're too big and complex for me to comprehend. So let's shrink you down to a few mm. Here enters the model of my study, the heartthrob of biologists worldwide. Put your hands together for Drosophila, aka the fruit fly. Let's go back to where we left, to the process of development which piques my interest. The formation of any organism is controlled by a duo. It's a match made in heaven of biochemical signaling pathways and the macho mechanical cues. Oh, don't get so confused, let me break it down for you. Signaling pathways are a collection of regulators interacting with each other to give a different gene expression patterns. While mechanical cues are signals triggered by forces such as shear stress, push or pull. The fruit of this love gave rise to a series of cell behaviors, changes in cell shape, cell ingression, cell fate specification. All these processes, when you put together, establish an organism's body plan. But who fanned the flames? Who fueled the fire? I am investigating who played Cupid and how. How do genetic pathways and mechanical cues regulate each other to create so many cell shapes and patterns? Let me give you a clue. Quoting Obi-Wan from Cell Wars, may the contractile force be with you. Even the cell has a skeleton called actin and myosin. They generate the forces of contraction and relaxation which are necessary to power tissue movements. Also, thanks to our super glue, the adhesion molecules who stick the cells together, allowing the whole tissue to move. Now, let us take this a notch higher. I'll introduce you to one system that will help us explain this interplay better. Presenting to you the homeland of neurotransmitters and action potentials. You guessed it right, it's the Drosophila central nervous system. At stage 8 of the fly's embryonic age, the baby nerve cells are lying in the fly's outer ectodermal layer as an undifferentiated fraction. But unthinkable! Can't afford to have my nervous system out there in the open. So the fly concocted a plan and decided its cells must undergo a process called ingression. What's ingression, you wonder? It's a cell behavior where cells can pop out and leave from any layer. On the ventral surface of the Drosophila embryo lie clusters of harmonious neuroectodermal cells, each brimming with potential to become a neural stem cell. Alas, it's only a lucky few that will pop out of the ectodermal tissue and get the opportunity to make the neural tube. But the mystery still remains. Who decides which cell ingress and which stay in place? To settle this dilemma, I have another character in store for you. He's a higher up in the signaling hierarchy, knows the nucleus quite personally. The notch pathway, with its receptors and ligands, has a solution quite simple. If you've got the notch, you stay epidermal. But to lower a notch, you pop right out and become the noble neural. So let's go back to the question at hand. How does notch, biochemical signaling pathway, make the cells emerge out of the layer and ultimately specify their fate? I placed my bets on the superglue and the cell skeleton, actin and myosin. Remember I told you? Maybe they could be connecting the mighty two. Turns out this is quite true. Work from the lab showed us in a context not so different. Notch plays a role in governing cell morphology, cell adhesion and cytoskeletal organization. So in a nutshell, the boss, aka the notch, decides the fate of each cell. The security guards or the actin myosin are the reason behind every shape deformation. What are we yet to know is, what language do notch and the actomyosin complex speak? How are these instructions given? In a turn of events, can the guards tell the boss what to do? To know these answers, tune in to Kick It Up a Notch, episode 2.